are we up to today?
We're gonna go make some charcoal.
All right, let's go. Beautiful sunny morning here, walking down to the Sugarhouse where the charcoal maker is. Mikhail and I are going to make some charcoal today. We're down here at the Sugarhouse, you can see over here. And this is our charcoal maker. We made this about, 5-6 years ago. We haven't really fired it in 3 years, but we're going to get ready to fire this today. It is called a retort furnace, and it basically bakes wood without oxygen and turns it into charcoal. And the charcoal we use for biochar for the garden, and also Mikhail has started to do some foraging, so he's going to start using some of this charcoal for the forage. It's also a lot of scrap wood from when we clear trails, so we're kind of utilizing a product that would normally just go back into nature, but we're turning into something useful here on the farm. All right, sealing up the furnace here. So basically the way charcoal is made is it's wood that's burned without oxygen, or baked without oxygen, and wood gas, which is highly flammable. In fact, they used to run tractors on it back in World War II. You'll have to look that one up. So the wood gas comes out through this pipe right here, and then goes back under where the fire is, and kind of is a self-perpetuating inferno. Usually pretty safe, as long as we keep the gas flowing out here. But worst case scenario is our charcoal inside burns up. So as you can see, no more smoke, very little. Got the fire going in here, no retort yet. We're starting to force the oxygen out of that barrel. And eventually you're going to see a jet of flame coming right out that pipe right there. And that will be the wood gas burning off. All right, we're starting to get some of the wood gas coming out. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's that kind of hissing sound in there that you hear. Eventually you'll see a flame coming out of there, but it's been about 30-40 minutes since we got going, and pretty soon it'll be self-perpetuating fire. It'll just fire itself.
So these are all poles that I've cut from doing trails, and when I'm in the woods here, this one doesn't have many limbs on it, but if it's got limbs, I'll limb it off. Otherwise, I'll just cut the end off. Just make a stack of these. And then I'll leave the tops in the woods because it's good soil building material. And I'll take the pieces of the poles I can use.
You'll notice the axe Mikhail's using is extremely sharp. We'll have to do a sharpening video here at some point.
I'm also here, the axe that I'm using today is pretty small. This is probably maybe 1.5 pounds. It's a 20-inch handle, but it's nice because I really only need one hand to use it. So when I'm doing these poles, I can just swing it, and I can swing it with two hands when I'm going through stuff like this. But just limbing, I just need one hand. It's really easy to use this way.
So here on the farm, we think of everything as a cycle and a circle, and we utilize our woods for nourishing our gardens, and we get, you know, biochar from the woods, but we also try to leave stuff in the woods. We leave the tops, we leave all the stuff. It doesn't make for a pretty woods, but it definitely makes for a healthy woods. So as we look around the woods here, you'll see a lot of tops and trees down, but we leave them right here. We try to cut them down so they contact with the ground, and over the next 20, 30 years, they will start to re-nourish this forest, which is hopefully going to be a great sugar bush, even better than it is now, for generations to come. Taking the long game here. This is not about short-term gain. On a farm, we're trying to be sustainable so that generations from now can come and utilize this land and tap the sweet trees and gather the bountiful, plentiful stuff that nature provides for us.
So here I'm just cutting up the poles that we just got from the woods. So I just flattened a log and propped it up, and I did it this way so that I can swing the axe straight down and I'm still cutting my wood at an angle. Because axes work best when they're going through the wood at about a 45-degree angle, and that's because you're splitting some of the grain. Axes don't like to cut straight through the grain. They like to split it back. So this way we sort of get to split diagonally through the wood.
All right, which is faster, a saw or the axe, Mikkel?
The axe is faster in this instance. Because for the most part, I try to keep my wood the size I can cut it with one hit. And again, I'm still using the same axe. It's just the 1.5 pound hatchet. Sometimes they get a little harder. You just flip it over. So here we're just on to another one. Just one hit. Make sure also when you're doing this, I'm swinging down here, my leg's over here. The plane of my axe is on the outside of my leg. So if I miss, right, I don't want to come into my leg here. If I miss, I want the axe sliding through next to me.
All right, another key safety feature, safety glasses.
Always safety glasses, yeah. This stuff, as you can see, is definitely flying all over the place. So with poles like this that become a little bit too big to split with one hit of the axe, because that's what's most efficient, I split them in half with a froe. So this one conveniently, you can see, started splitting already on its own. If not, I'll start that split with the axe on the chopping block like this, and I'll just hold the axe to it and swing it down, and that usually splits right into it. But this one conveniently has already started. So I'm using the wood pile here. There's ways to do this with like forked tree branches. This is just the most convenient one I have, but you can see it holds the log in here. And I got my froe here. And when I put the froe in, this is a really cool tool because it allows me to split the wood down the middle and also control where the split goes. So you can see the split here is now moving towards the top half of the wood. So I'll put the log in and push down on it, and splits move towards wood under tension. So I can do the same thing. It's moving too far down, push it over, put it under tension, and keep moving. And I can move this way right down the center of the log. It's a little hard by the knots sometimes here. Now I got these two halves that are back to the size that I can cut up with the axe. Yeah, and that's where the knot is.
And Farm Dog just came down. Milo! Farm dog! Woof! What are you doing? You going back up to the house? Okay, go to the house. Go! Go to the house! Go on! Interruption by farm dog.
Yeah.
All right, here we are. Now we're gonna start hearing the sound. Now you hear the jet engine. So that sound is the wood gas coming out of that wood and creating fire. You probably can't see it, but there is flame coming out of that nozzle right there. Once you get this thing cooking, there's no stopping it now. All right, it's been about 2 hours or so, maybe a little longer, but now it's really going. This is when it starts to get real. You can hear it. We are cooking wood without oxygen. Forcing the wood gas out through there. This is now a self-perpetuating, raging inferno to make charcoal. So when you buy charcoal in the store, this is how it's made, but on a bigger scale. Wood is made up of, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. What we're going to do here today is we're going to drive off all the oxygen, all the hydrogen, and hopefully be left with mostly carbon. And that then gets turned into what you call charcoal.
So right here we're getting a little close to the end. You can probably hear that the volume's gone down a lot on the fire. You can also hear it spluttering a little bit. It was doing it a lot more just a second ago, but it just sounds like your lawnmower running out of gas. Because that's really what we're doing, is we have basically an engine that's just running out of fuel. So we just want to keep it going until it fully runs out of fuel and then cap that pipe. So it's the next morning here. We got a little bit of rain last night. Everything's nice and wet. But I'm just headed down to the Sugarhouse here to open up the charcoal maker and see what we made yesterday. So here we are at the charcoal maker. So we'll just pop the lid off here. This is a locking lever with a ring on it. Pull the lever off. A little stuck there. Off. And here's our charcoal. So you can see that sticks that were in here, they've all turned black. They snap. All like crinkles in here. And that one might still got a little bit of wood in the middle, but for the most part, this is all good usable charcoal. Yeah, some of it you can see isn't quite all the way done. There's still a little bit of wood in the center of that. So might have been able to fire it a little bit longer. But I can definitely use this in the forge. I got some stuff I gotta make later today. So that would wrap up our charcoal project. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe for more content on small-scale sustainable farming.
I work as a hand in San Saba, fences and windmills to mend. I've been out on a crew, eating tumbleweed stew, 3 weeks in the rain and the wind.